Yes? No? Is it there? Nothing yet, huh? We're gonna wait and see if it pops up. Should pop up soon. Does it say live stream? Am I there? Can we go? Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? We're live! What is up? Speckers, traders, players. It's been a long time. Been trying to get this live stream setup going for a little while. Apparently, I'm a live stream idiot, so here we are. Finally got the multiple camera setup, and we got lots to talk about today. So let's get started. First thing I wanted to talk about, I had mentioned in my previous videos, I started going through some of them, and I had mentioned that I would try to put up a purchase and a sale of a spec target at the beginning of each one of my videos. This is a live stream, but we're going to do that anyway. Let me see if I can switch this properly. Bear with me if everything goes. But let's see if we can do this right. Bam! Hey, look, we did it! Yes. All right. So here is a recent sale, and you can see my purchase information in the center there in the red box. So this was the chain veil that I picked up a while ago, and I picked these up, 11 of them, for $2.95. As you can see, they sold for $24.99, of which I get to keep $21.49 after fees. Cost me approximately $4 to ship in a bubble mailer. Anything over $20 gets shipped in a bubble mailer. So I get to keep $17.49 out of a $2.95 investment. So not bad, pretty darn good. I am liking returns like that, and I wanted to show you guys that returns like that are possible. Which brings me to one of the next topics that I wanted to cover. I've gotten some comments. I've gotten people talking about me pumping and dumping cards. I'm just on here to pump and dump cards. If you look at my sales and my purchases on pretty much anything I've ever shown you guys on this channel, I'm pretty sure pump and dump is going to be, hey, look, I just picked up this fantastic card. You should go pick up this fantastic card, drive the price up, and then I dump it within a few days because of all the idiots who followed my advice and bought that card. If you want to call pump and dump waiting 7 years, 5 years, 2 years, 11 years on some of these purchases that I've shown you guys, I think the shortest one was probably Bishop of Wings. It took a couple of years for that to go up enough for me to sell it. I very much doubt that anybody would consider that a pump and dump scheme. I am really literally here just to try to show you guys what I've had success with, what I do. I've mentioned it many times that I am a long-term holder. This is an investment that I'm going to hold for much longer than a couple weeks while all the other players that listen to my videos run out and buy these cards. And I'm not telling you to buy these cards. This is obviously not financial advice. I'm telling you what I'm doing, and I'm showing you the cards that I am picking up. If you choose to do that for yourself and you've got the patience like I do to wait a fairly long time for these prices to move, then we can take this journey together. If you're looking to turn around and very quickly, pump this stuff and dump it and make a lot of money in the short term, I've mentioned in many of my videos that that is not what I'm interested in doing. That is not. That's a much more volatile market, one that I don't like to get into. So just wanted to cover the pump and dump comments and emails that I've gotten occasionally. All right. So if you guys like the feature of me showing these sales, just give me a thumbs up, like this video, share it out, put a comment down below if you like to see this kind of stuff. And as you can see, this is a long-term hold. All right. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, have a discussion about, was the MTG 30th. I wanted to make a video about this. I thought about making a video over the past couple of weeks many times. I've watched a lot of people talk about the 30th anniversary. It seems that most players are not happy with the route that Wizards has taken, that Hasbro has taken with this sale. I hear a lot of people talking about these are proxies, etc. That does kind of annoy me as a long-term player. I was, around when we had the collector's edition and international collector's edition, and really, those were obviously a lot cheaper back then, but nobody talks about those as if they're proxies. For the past 20 years, they haven't, or 30 years, they haven't talked about those as if they're proxies. Nobody's like, oh, International Collector's Edition, it's a proxy. And you can see the price movement on International Collector's Edition and Collector's Edition has moved significantly in recent years. Those cards have become very, very, very expensive. You used to be able to buy the entire set for, $500, $700, and now it's in the thousands of dollars if you want to pick up a collector's edition or an international collector's edition. So there is value in proxies, right? Those cards are not legal for tournament play either, as the MTG 30th cards are not legal for tournament play. Now, with that said, I am extremely disappointed in WotC and how they handled this. I've seen, I think, as many of the openings that I could find online on YouTube. I've watched those openings at $250 a pop. Not a single one that I've watched has been worth it, even if there was the Mox Jet, right? You could argue that the Mox Jet was worth it if you assign a value to the Mox Jet over $1,000. I don't think the Mox Jet, or at least I hope the Mox Jet, does not stay over $1,000. This is a set that, yes, it does contain almost all the cards from Beta, but it's been printed 30 years after the Beta set, or 29 years after the Beta set. So it should not hold the same type of value. I am hoping that this is a failure for Wizards. I think $250 is ridiculous per pack. I think they would have been much better off printing a collector's edition type product and pricing it at somewhere between $1,000 to $1,500. I think the community would have loved that. They could have sold as many as they wanted and made as much money as they wanted. But trying to get those cards from a pack, I've seen some of the simulators out there. I mean, the cost is ridiculous to try to pull that stuff. If you're not lucky, you're just going to flush money down the toilet. So I would have liked to see a collector's edition style product come out of Wizards. I have discussed this over the years many times with many different players, and have always said that I think that would be the route that WotC would go if they ever chose to do something like this, and I was wrong. They went for the cash grab at $250 a pack. So I hope it's a dismal failure, and I hope those cards tank, and I would like to pick them up if they do tank, because I think in the future they will hold considerable value. So I am not purchasing any myself. My knee-jerk reaction was to try to get some of these packs, but after thinking about it, looking at the product, seeing the types of openings that I saw, I am not going to be getting this product. If you do get this product and you open it, I would love to see your videos of you guys opening the product and see how lucky you've gotten. So, yeah. That's all I've got to say about the MG 30th discussion. If you guys have anything to add to that, feel free. Oops, I just screwed that up, didn't I? Anyway, I was trying to get to a chat page. But this is going to bring up our segue into from 30th anniversary. So, yeah, we might as well just pop this right on the screen. So, what I have here is I have a tweet from a Wizards employee, Melissa. She's been on game nights. Some of you may know who she is. She works at Wizards, and she's also obviously a Magic player. There is a crossover. I've mentioned this product before, Duel Masters. and they did a crossover that she worked on. You can see from her tweet, they gave her a Black Lotus from that product as kind of a thank you for her work on that game. Duel Masters is a game that WotC has ownership in, and I found this interesting. I made a video about this earlier, that this product contains reserve list cards, but they're printed with a Duel Masters back. And the question for me is, hey, what's the difference between this card and a 30th anniversary? Sure, the 30th anniversary says, it's a Magic product on the back. But this is printed by WotC. As you can see, this is the artwork is a Magic artist, well-known Magic artist, did the artwork for this card. It literally says Black Lotus on it. The cost is $0. As far as I know from what I've heard, these cards try to mimic as closely as they can within the Duel Masters universe what the card actually does in Magic. So they did 14 of these cards with this set. 3 of those cards were reserve list cards. Library of Alexandria, Black Lotus, and Sliver Queen were printed in this product. So, this is a proxy for anybody who is pissed off at the 30th anniversary product and is looking to get a Black Lotus cheap that you can use as a proxy in your deck. I just wanted to bring this one up again. You can see the cost on these has gone down considerably over time. I started picking these up at almost $30, and some of these are like $14, $15. I've picked up pretty much all I'm going to pick up. I've got a decent supply of these. I also did get Sliver Queens, and I got Library of Alexandrias. Both of those cards are significantly cheaper than this Black Lotus. So this Black Lotus really is the chase rare in that product. Carries a significant premium. I think I picked up the other cards for a couple dollars each, maybe even less than that. I may have gotten copies of Sliver Queen for like 4 for $5, so $1.25 a piece or something like that. So something to keep in mind if you guys are looking for reserve list cards in your decks. Black Lotus, Library of Alexandria, Sliver Queen, available very cheap. You can get them on eBay, and you don't have to buy a $250 pack from Wizards to hope to get your Black Lotus. Unfortunately, none of the other Power 9s in there, but at least you can pick these up very cheap and not have to spend your money on the 30th anniversary. Get these instead. Spend your money on this stuff instead. You can use it just as well on a deck, and this Black Lotus looks incredible in real life. All right. One of the other things that I've talked about considerably is, let's see if I can move this, is a website that I've been working on for us. So let me show you that really quick here if I can. Let me move to that. This website is now live. It is a website. I own this website. These are cards that are in my inventory. So if you're shopping from this website, it's called mtgcardoutlet.com. Know that this isn't a sponsor of mine. This is in full transparency. I own this site. I own all these cards. These are my cards, my site. If you buy from them, I will benefit financially from those purchases. With that said, these prices are super, super competitive. They're all based off of TCG Mid, and I've tied some benefits from Patreon to the website. So I've created a Patreon account, and the website is now ready to go live. I've been talking about this website for a long time. It's taken me way more time than I wanted it to take, but it is now here. So if you guys are interested in getting a decent pricing on cards, feel free to visit this website. It's currently live with about 50,000 cards, which sounds like a lot, but is not that many cards when it comes to Magic the Gathering cards. So inventory is up to date on this website. with the cards that we've put in here. So if you've got a card and you want to order and it says it's available, it is absolutely available. We are adding cards at, my goal is 10,000 cards a week to try to get onto this website and just continue putting the inventory on here. We've got almost 2 million cards in inventory right now that need to get on this website. It's literally a mom and pop operation here. We've just got a couple people and scanning the inventory and the cards and getting them onto the website. Very time consuming. So I think we're going to be able to manage about 10,000 cards a week. So, it's just means that every week there's going to be 10,000 new cards that you can look through on this website and see if there's anything that you need, and you can get it. Now, I mentioned that I tied this into Patreon. So here's the Patreon page that we're working on. That goofy old guy in the middle there, just below the goblin. But there are many tiers here that I've created. And basically what I'm doing with this Patreon is, if you support me on Patreon, whatever your level of support is, you will get that level of support. You will get that back in credits on mtgcardoutlet.com. So if you support me at the $2 level, you will get a $2 credit in cards on mtgcardoutlet.com. So you could go on there. Obviously, you're going to have to pay for shipping for the cards if it's below the free shipping tier, right? So there is a level where you're just going to get free shipping on cards. If you buy enough cards, you'll get free shipping. But if it's below that level, you still have to pay shipping. But you get the credit. And I think it's $10 for free cards on MTG. This is what we set it at here. Let me go back real quick. Oh, look, on singles, orders over $10, right? So if you order at least $10 worth of singles, you're going to get free shipping. So at the $2 tier, you'll have to pay for a stamp to get your $2 worth of cards on a monthly basis. At the $5 level, you'll get the $5 credit on mtgcardoutlet.com. You'll have to pay for that stamp. Once you get to the $10 level, you're going to be getting your cards for free every month. You can order $10 worth of cards every month. Those cards will be shipped to you for free. There's no cost to you for shipping. And yeah. And then we've got a $15 tier here, which gets you $15 credit and a 5% discount on any cards, or actually on any purchase you make on MTG Card Outlet. So you can create an account on MTG Card Outlet. You can get your monthly order of cards if you support me on Patreon here. And if you do it at the $15 level, you'll get 5% off on your purchases. If you do it at the $30 level, you will get the $30 credit, and you will get 10% off of your purchases. All right. Some of these have additional benefits. Let's see. You'll get one random spec target of mine mailed out to you when you join on the $30 level here. It is going to be random, so I'm going to get a random number generated. That number is going to be tied to a specific card in my inventory of spec targets, and you'll get that card. So, yeah, it could be a 25-cent spec target. It could be a $10 spec target, or $20, $50 spec target. So it's going to be completely random. Anyway, that is it for the Patreon. If you guys feel like you want to support my channel, support the website, that would be awesome. If you guys want to share it out, that would also be awesome. All right, let's see, what else have we got here. All right, so speaking of spec targets and specs, we've got a list to work through here. I'm going to give you guys a list of spec targets that I worked on recently. If you guys saw my last mailbag, I think some of these came up in that mailbag. Some of these have not been in the mailbag yet. So first spec target of ours is Light Paws, Emperor's Voice from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. This is the only one from Neon Dynasty that I've got on the list. This guy in an enchantment deck is absolutely unbelievable. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura and with a different name. commander, right? That's easy. Then each aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield, attached to Light Paws, Emperor's Voice. Then shuffle. So this can get out of hand really, really quick, right? We've got tons of card draw when we play enchantments. Uh, Auras are enchantments. So we could draw cards, draw into more auras that we can play, that we can then just get other auras out of our library, which it's coming into play, which lets us draw a card, which lets us hopefully draw into auras, etc. Rinse, repeat. This card looks ridiculous. It's been a bad year for Magic overall. We are in a bear market, and a lot of these cards are extremely cheap. You can see here, the market price is 32 cents. The median price is 50 cents. This guy's got 12 of them for 27 cents right now. All right, this is all live data so that we're looking at. So this is a spec target for me. The next spec target is multi-class Baldric from Commander Legends. I've got quite a few on here from Commander Legends. Equipped creature has lifelink if you control a cleric, death touch if you control a rogue, haste if you control a warrior, and flying if you control a wizard. As long as you have a full party, prevent all damage that would be dealt to equipped creature. So, you know, they've got this mechanic where you've got a full party, and the benefits that you get from having a full party with this equipment is ridiculous. It costs one, it costs two to equip. It's very cheap. If you're running anything like Maskwood Nexus, you've already got a full party, period, right? Because you've got all creature types, and so you're going to get the benefit. The creature's going to get the benefit of all of these things. So for 8 cents, 10 cents is the market, 40 is the median. This card seemed like a no-brainer to me. I think it has a lot of potential to go up higher than that by at least 3 to 5x, right? That's what I'm looking for. This has a potential to more than 3 to 5x. My next one was Nera Wild Mage. This one is a little iffy for me. I did like the effect. I thought it was unique and added it to the list. I did pick up some of these. Whenever you cast a spell, you may put it on the bottom of its owner's library. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. So, there's so many ways to put cards on top of your library. I just thought to myself, like, wow, this is a card that can be easily abused. You can cast a small spell that doesn't cost very much and then really be able to put some big spell on the stack. Some big permanent or some high cost instant or sorcery that does a lot, and you can cast it for free. Kind of like Tybalt's Trickery. That's what this thing kind of reminded me of, was a Tybalt's Trickery effect. Next, I've got Domineering Will. Domineering Will is actually a reprint. I really like this card. Target player gains control of up to 3 target non-attacking creatures until end of turn. Untap those creatures. They block this turn if able. Right? So, it's an instant, costs 4 mana. It's not that expensive to be able to have this effect. EDH is a very political format, and being able to grab some creatures from somebody else and use them as blockers if you're being attacked, or to save somebody from instant death, just seemed really good to me. It's 18 cents here. The market price 24. Median is 50 cents. There's plenty of cards on here, very cheap, 20 cents, 21 cents, etc. We've got Shameless Charlatan. This is a background. I really liked this card when I saw it. Commander creatures you own have 2 and a blue. This creature becomes a copy of another target creature. So anytime somebody lands something ridiculous on the board, you can make yours a copy of that creature. And then if you can get rid of that creature, even better too, right? The other creature. But you can at least have a copy of anything that's really, really juicy on the board with your commander. And you can do this, it's a colon after that. So you can make it a copy of something, and then make it a copy of something else, and then make it a copy of something else. All right. Again, 9 cents. What's this? 9 cents and 26 cents listed median and market price. So super, super cheap. The foil's not that expensive. Doesn't carry a premium really. Altar of Baal. I liked this card a lot. I like the fact that it actually creates the 4/1 a 4/1 black skeleton creature with menace, right? And you can use that creature to have this effect. So return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. I mean, the thing's got menace. Great if you can sing with it and there's no blockers. And then if you're filling your graveyard with some really good stuff, you can just, you know, pop whatever you want out of the graveyard as long as you've got a creature you can sacrifice. It's an artifact. It's a little more difficult to get rid of than if it was a creature, and I thought this has got potential. You know, Battle for Baldur's Gate got crushed. Its value got crushed. I think a lot of these cards are underpriced and underappreciated. And we move out of this bear market again, long term, right? With me, when we move out of this bear market, I think this card has got legs to run. It's got a lot of room to grow. Favorite of mine here, Glunch the Bestower. So this jellyfish here, just, you know, group hug kind of card. I thought it's a pretty cool card. Again, super cheap, and bought a bunch of them. We've got Unbreakable Formation. This is another a reprint. This has had a lot of reprints that have really kind of depressed the price on this card. But you know, this card is really, really strong. Your creatures become indestructible. If you cast this during your main phase, you get a 1+1/+1 counter on each of those creatures, and they gain vigilance until end of turn. So this, you know, it can save you and save your creatures if you're getting attacked and you want to block with them. And if it's, you know, during your main phase and it's your turn, it's your 1/1s become 2/2s. I mean, that's really, really powerful. And they have vigilance and indestructible until end of turn. So super cheap card. I can certainly see this card going to, you know, 3x to 5x, right? That literally means it's going to go to 60 cents to $1. I love those little cards in trade binders. They're filler. You get to do a lot with cards like that. You know, you're trying to make a trade. You're trying to just fill up a trade. You're behind a few cents here and there. And somebody pulls this out of your binder at 60 cents to $1, and you pay 20 cents for it. Durnan of the Yawning Portal. I like the ability on this. Again, a unique ability. That's the kind of stuff I look for. When he attacks, you look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can exile a creature from among them, and then put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may cast it. That spell has Undaunted, and then you can choose a background with this guy. So you can get a great background. You can get a background in a different color, since he says you can choose a background, which can increase your card pool dramatically, right? If you wanted to build a multicolor EDH deck. And Undaunted is such a crazy ability to me. It costs 1 less to cast for each opponent. So, you know, if you've got something that's going to cost 6 mana, and, you know, a 6 mana spell in EDH should be pretty powerful. Well, you've got 3 other opponents. That's going to cost you, if it costs 4 colorless and 2 green, it's going to cost you 1 colorless and 2 green. That is a ridiculous cost savings in mana. And this guy's not bad. He's a 3/3. Sure, he dies to a bolt. He's not, you know, it'd be great if he was like a 3/4, even better. But 3/3 with that ability for 4 mana is not bad. This guy is literally, I don't know, 23 cents. This is these are all foils, right? Did I select the? Oh, well, he's must be the commander in one of the decks, right? So they're all foil apparently. So you know, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Who's next? Oh, Battle Mammoth. Battle Mammoth, I think, is also a reprint. Kaldheim this thing got a quick reprint. So you're looking at a 6/5 for 5 mana. He's got trample, and whenever a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card, and it's got foretell. So you can reduce the cost to 4, and probably play it a little early if it's in your hand, versus having to wait an extra turn to get to turn 5 or to get 5 mana. I really like the ability of, if a target becomes a spell, the target of spell or ability an opponent controls, you draw a card. First card that popped into mind to use with this, which is also a super budget card, uh, is, oh my god, now my mind went blank. Hey, how about that? 0/4 artifact creature, you get to pay 1 blue or life to to change the target, right? So even if somebody's targeting their stuff, they're trying to buff their stuff. Spellskite, thank you. Spellskite in a deck like this, if you're running blue green Simic, I just thought of that and I'm like, oh my god, anytime anybody tries to target anything on their sides of the board, you get to say nope, it's going to Spellskite, and you get to draw a card. So I'm like, wow, 2 card combo where you basically shut down other people's abilities to target their own creatures with spells, because that's just going to let you draw, right? And Spellskite's a 0/4. He's out of bolt range. This guy's a 6/5. He's pretty beefy, so I liked this card. And again, it's super super cheap. Reigns of Power. Reigns of Power is a pretty cool card. Also a reprint. I believe, right? Let's see. Am I right? Am I right? It's been reprinted a bunch of times, right? Yeah, it's an old card. Yeah, Stronghold. So, untap all creatures you control and all creatures target opponent controls. You and that opponent each gain control of all creatures the other controls until end of turn. Those creatures gain haste until end of turn. Man, I'm in blue a lot with one of my decks, and being able to, I get people who attack me all the time. My blue deck doesn't have a lot of creatures in it, and being able to, have somebody board swing at you, trying to kill you, and you have, say, 1 creature on the board, and you exchange control of your creatures with somebody else that has a lot of creatures, right? You untap those creatures. So even if they had swung at somebody else and now this person's swinging in at you, you can just say for 4 mana, say, hey, you can take my 1 lonely dude I got on the board. I'm going to take all of your creatures. They're going to untap, and I'm just going to throw them in front of all of these creatures and save myself. Again, EDH being political, you can also save somebody else. At instant speed. I thought that was pretty good. And this thing is, again, 33 cents market price, 56 mid price, and you've got people selling. This guy's selling 7 copies at 20 cents. Nine Fingers Keen. This card, man, 4 mana. You're in 3 colors, black, green, and blue. You get a 4/4 with Menace, and it has Ward, pay 9 life. So to target this creature, whether it's your commander or whether it's a creature on the board, somebody's gonna have to pay 9 life to target this card. And the ability on this, whenever a Nine Fingers Keen deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 9 cards of your library. You may put a gate card from among them onto the battlefield. Then if you can control 9 or more gates, put the rest in your hand. Otherwise, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So they don't go to the grave, which some people might like. I like the fact that they go on the bottom of your library in a random order. And it's in green, it's in blue, it's in black. I look at this and I'm like, wow, we can get 10 gates out there, or I'm sorry, 9 gates out there pretty darn quickly. There's a lot of gates that can go into this deck. And if you've got the gates, which shouldn't take you that long to get, right, then this card really reads, if it deals combat damage to the player, draw 9 cards, put a gate card from your hand onto the battlefield. Like, that's literally what this says, right? If you're at 9 gates, that's what this reads. And I thought that was a really, really powerful effect. And the fact that somebody has to pay 9 life, this thing's got a lot of protection. I really did like it. It's super cheap. It's from, one of the most hated sets that's come out this year, right? Battle for Baldur's Gate. Everybody felt like they got ripped off. Wizards did a horrible job with this thing. And I think there's a lot of hidden gems in this in this set that are going to come back later on, and we're going to be like, wow, this thing is super powerful and super good. So with that said, John Irenicus, Shattered One from Baldur's Gate. At the beginning of your end step, target opponent gains control of up to one target creature you control. Put 2+1/+1 counters on it and tap it. It's goaded for the rest of the game, and it gains this creature can't be sacrificed. Whenever a creature you own but don't control attacks, you draw a card. Somebody at my local game store built this deck. I looked through at this card when I first saw Baldur's Gate come out. I kind of looked through some of the cards, and I thought, oh, it's an interesting ability, and this guy's seems like he could be good, but I don't know if he's good enough to be a spec target. And then I played against that deck, and oh my god, like this guy gets out of control really, really fast. The fact that the creatures he's giving away get counters on them, they get even bigger, and they are goaded. And when they attack, he draws a card. So you give away one creature, and he's giving away beefy stuff that has a detrimental effect to the person who controls it. And then it's, there's creatures like that in Magic, right? They're really big, but they have this awful effect. And he just gives those things, and they're just beaters. And they can't attack you. They have to attack somebody else. And their, power is too larger than their power is initially. So really, really strong commander. I really liked him. And after I saw the deck played a few times, I was like, wow, I underestimated how powerful this is as a commander. And I spec'd on it. So you guys, if you're interested, it's 15 cents market price, 30 cents median price. The foil is only 22 cents and 49 cents median price. And there's, plenty of copies on here. So, yeah, I really like this guy. And we're almost done. We're coming to the end of this. The last spec target for me is Baru Wormspeaker. This is a Dominaria United commander card. And for 4 mana, you get a 3/3. Again, he's in bolt range, 4 mana. But worms you control get +2/+2 and have trample. The cost to create a worm is high. I think Jake and Joel covered this card briefly after I had put it on the list. They covered it. Obviously, they didn't look at my list. They just happened to be a card that they covered that I thought was a good spec target as well, is what I'm trying to say. So 7 colorless, 1 green, tap, create a 4/4 worm creature token. This ability costs X less to activate, where X is the greatest power among worms you control. Well, it's a 4/4 worm, and he gives it +2/+2. So you've got a 6/6 worm after the first time you activate this, which means creating a 4/4 worm that's going to hit the board as a 6/6 worm is going to cost you 1 colorless and 1 green after the first worm you make. That is bonkers. You're getting a 6/6 creature every turn if you like for 2 mana, a colorless and a green. And if you multicolored this deck, so he's not your commander, but again, Simic, you can find creatures in Simic, right? Tons of ways. Green has to find creatures, put them on the board. And blue, there is a card called Intruder Alarm, and I just see this thing. This thing is practically, I don't want to say infinite, but it could be infinite, right? With Intruder Alarm. Intruder Alarm is a card that says whenever a creature comes into... Creatures don't untap during the controller's untap step. Whenever a creature comes into play, untap all creatures. So it's global effect, but that means that if you paid the 1 colorless, 1 green, and you tapped this, if you have mana dorks, 2 elves that create 2 mana, you're literally going to tap this guy. A worm's going to come into play. A 6/6 worm's going to come into play. You're going to untap him and the elves that you used to create that 2 mana. Tap those again. Make another 6/6 worm. I mean, it's just infinite with 2 mana dorks and Intruder Alarm. So I really like this card. I like it a lot. And that is it for my spec targets list. I've got one other honorable mention. It is not at a point where I would purchase it yet, but I'm hoping that after its printing, it does become a much cheaper card. Fauna Shaman. Fauna Shaman is getting a reprint in Brothers War. You can see here that Fauna Shaman has started to drop a little bit in price already. Its market price $11.64, but $6.49 lowest listings, and $10.78 for the Ultimate Masters, $7.50. This card is already down to $5. Market price is $6.86. You can see the chart here that it has started to move down here, right? It started pretty high at about the cost of what, pretty close to where Fauna Shaman was, and now we are looking at $6.86, and it continues to drop. We've got a bunch of copies here: $4.88 for 9, $4.88 for 14, and the set hasn't really released yet, right? The release is this week, so once these start getting cracked and getting opened, I expect Fauna Shaman to hopefully hit the $3 to somewhere between $2 and $3 is what I'm hoping for. If it hits $2 to $3, I absolutely am going to pick some up. Right, that will become a spec target for me. Fauna Shaman is a good card. It doesn't have a lot of printings, and at $2 to $3, this would be an amazing pickup. At $5, not so much. So I won't be picking it up at this price, these prices. With that said, remember, guys, we are in a bear market, but as you may or may not know, Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world, has often said, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. And in this bear market, with prices dropping on a daily basis on a lot of cards, with a lot of unknowns with his 30th anniversary Magic the Gathering release, there's been a lot of reserve list cards and a lot of older cards that have already taken a hit, and we don't know what's going to happen. So keep your eyes out on that stuff, right? People are scared, and there's a lot of people dumping their dual lands and dumping RL cards that were in beta because they're afraid of what's going to happen to the market, and they see how the market is in collectibles. They see, we're not in a recession according to the government, but for all intents and purposes, we are in a recession. And these are the times when, if you have the ability to pick up items for less money, I'm not telling you don't start charging shit on your credit card, don't start going into debt to do this stuff, but if you have disposable income, when the market goes down is the perfect opportunity to pick this stuff up, right? That is the best time to do that. So with that said, let's go back to, there I am. Hey, all right. I think that's going to be it for today. We're going to stop this stream. Give me a thumbs up, a like. Don't forget about our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We're never going to get there. I keep going to low threes, and then people join, people drop. I know I haven't been consistent with my videos, but anyway, I've still got those cards to give away for the 1,000 drawing, 3 RL cards that we're giving away, and that's it. Got any comments? Leave them below. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. Let me know if you want me to cover something that I have not covered yet, and that's gonna be it. Peace.